Xin chào everybody. Welcome back. You're watching Vietnam Steve, and I've got a good one for you today. I'm going to talk to you about some of the things that I no longer need to know as a semi-retired expat living in Southeast Asia, in particular living here in lovely Vietnam. I'm going to go out around the neighbourhood today, and it's going to get hot. It's about 30 odd degrees coming in today. A lot of water lying around, so this shirt is going to get soaked. Put this shirt on for a reason, because it's going straight in the wash, and I can have a shower immediately afterwards. So these things are things that I used to place a lot of stead in my prior life, and now no longer seem as important. So we'll run through them one by one, and then see what you think. So the first one that used to be important, but I just don't have any inclination to get involved with, is what day is it? What time is it? How long is it going to take? I don't think about what the time is. This is morning time. Family's gone out for the day. I've had a cup of coffee. I've checked a couple of emails, and I'm just going out for a walk. I've got something to do late morning before we have a bit of lunch, but that's about it. I'm not worried about the time or how long it's going to take or whatever. You don't need time when you're semi-retired. As you can see, we've had a bit of storm damage around here that's still being cleaned up. We're just over a week into the disaster. The houses on my right have lost roofs. People sitting in there with no roofs. I'm not really going to hone in on them. So I don't need to know what day it is. However, I do know that today is getting towards the end of the week, because the weekend is coming. I couldn't tell you the time right now, but it's after 7 and before 11, because the family leaves at 7 and I've got something to do at 11. And how long I'm going to take out walking around the street? Well, it's probably an hour, and the reason I know that is because I do that every day. But if something took 2 hours today, it wouldn't sort of impact me at all. So, number one, date, time, duration. Not that important to semi-retired Vietnam Steve. I just pulled up and thought I'd show you where I'm walking, because we're still in clean-up mode. We did have some big diggers come around yesterday and dig up some of this, and also some trucks. They've deployed the army here to help out with this whole reconstruction effort. But needless to say, this little area that I'm in here now hasn't had too much assistance from anybody. The houses back down there near where that red car is just about now have lost their roofs, and people are in there with the blue sky above them. Anyway, on with number two on the list of things that I can do without and no longer need now that I'm retired. So the second thing on the list is the non-local news, or the non-community news. So unless it's local news that's affecting the town I live in here, probably not that important to me. I don't need international world affairs. They don't sort of impact whether I'm out walking in the morning or the afternoon, what time I'm having for lunch or where I'm going. It's just superfluous. So if it's not local, I don't need to be updated about it, and so I can just rid myself of all that non-local community news. There is some community news that I find useful, and I'll talk about that a bit later on, but that's about the things that are happening in the community here and things I might want to get involved with. So walking straight into the sun is never good for Vietnam Steve. So anything that's not related to where I am is a bit superfluous. I'm going to walk under some half hanging over trees here, and I'll go around it because so half this road is blocked. I'm now working on the middle line here. Oh, lovely, we've got someone cleaning up here. I'll be able to show you that. So half this road, the side I'm walking on, is covered with debris. Superfluous, not required, doesn't impact my day, so I just don't focus on it. That frees up a lot of brain space, I have to say. Geez, I've got to be careful here. One, I don't want to get wet, and two, I don't want to get splattered. I think I'm going to cross the road. Just give me a minute. And now he's going backwards. Okay, I'm going to have to watch myself here. All right, let's go. The interesting thing is, with this guy that I'm going to go past, and you'll see him in a moment, I can smell gas around here, so that's never a good thing when you've got a digger in the street. Might just turn the camera around for this last little bit. We got a bit of action here. Up something on the edge of the road here. Bad smell of gas walking through here, so let's not hang around here too long. These are the kinds of trees that have gone over. What these guys are doing, this fella here, is filling up the truck. He's trying to turn around here. I'll just get out of his way behind a load of bricks. He toots his horn and waves at me and scares the pants out of me. Now I'm going to have to wash the underwear as well. Anyway, onwards up the street, and we got more trucks up here waiting to pick up more of this. So it looks like today the debris around here is being picked up. And up on the hill there, you can see that that hill has been denuded of any sort of vegetation. So we've had a young boy here on a motorbike that's just impatient to get past that truck, run over an old boy with a digger coming up behind a little van and a big truck. So right, let's get away from all that beeping. I'm going to go back across the road so I don't have the traffic coming behind me, but I've just got to get across here. So we've had a few big trees come down here, and the third thing with regards to the non-local news is that there is some important news, so particularly around community events, markets, festivals that are happening. I mean, we have triathlons here, we have marathons, we have kite festivals. Every day's a fun day in Vietnam, and so you know, your local news is important for that. But that non-local news, the non-community news, you can get rid of that. You're not going to need subscription to CNN or Fox News or anything like that, unless they're actually pumping out what's happening on the street here today. So one was date, time, duration. Two was non-community news. Not going to need that. I might film the other side of the road here for you. Three is temperature and weather. It doesn't affect me what the temperature and weather is. I'm out every day, rain, hail or shine. It's nice to know if it's going to be raining or not, but you know, short of that, there's not much I need to know. I can't change it, so why do I need to know it? Of course, severe weather warnings are useful, but for routine weather, as an expat, semi-retired in Southeast Asia, living in Vietnam, I just come outside, look up at the sky, and I can tell you immediately what the weather is. So worrying about the weather, considering the weather, and thinking about whether you're going to do this or whether you're going to do that based on the weather, probably not something that you need. The rest of this street doesn't have any houses, but I'm going up here because it's very interesting that every single tree has blown over. So these trees are quite large. I don't know if you can see this fella here behind me. They'd probably be 18 inches in diameter. So every single one of those needs a truck with a crane to come and pull it up, and a team of guys to put some braces around it and re-stand it up. So think about 5,000 of those, and they probably take 30 minutes each. That's a few minutes of repairs, and I've just walked past the one I showed you and the next one and the next one. That's 3, and there's the 4th one there, and I'm just coming up to the 5th one now, but there's probably 25 in this street. Anyway, on with the story. Things that I don't need anymore now that I'm a semi-retired expat. Number 4. Now, before I get to number 4, I've got to give you that call to action. Please like the video. If you like the content, like the video. I really appreciate the likes that come through on each of the videos. And I think that gets the algorithm moving for YouTube. It's just good for YouTube. If you know somebody that you think might benefit from the content here today, please share the video with them, because that way they get the latest entertainment as well. Comments, I get a lot of comments on each video. I respond to them all, and I really love those serial commenters that I respond to every week or so. So please comment if you've got an idea of something else that you can do without when you're semi-retired and not really giving a you know what. Put it in the comments. The third thing is subscribe. So the subscriptions have died off, probably because I've been posting boring content. But please, if you're watching this and you have watched a couple of other VARTs, think about subscribing. And what I'd like you to do, if you've already subscribed, is share the video with your best friend. And that's really going to be a call out for one of these issues I've got, or things I've got later in this video, is who are your best friends? Now, if you struggle with who you can share this video with, maybe there's a bit of introspection required. So, just been past another dozen trees. Getting up to the main road here. This will be a... Hello! Everybody wants to talk to Steve. All right, number 4, anything digital. So I live a local life. I live in a community here, as you've seen me just walk around. These things over here are the rubbish collection. So, you know, in the West, we try and reduce our rubbish, and we have, in fact, where I come from, they've now got 4 large bins to segregate out your rubbish. The ladies push these around the streets, these little wheelbarrows, to pick up the rubbish. So I'd have to say that you're on top of your rubbish if you can pick it up in a wheelbarrow. Where I live, it's a massive truck that has a loud honking sound and wants everyone to get out of the way. Here it's just a wheelbarrow. So once your rubbish is down to wheelbarrow collection level, you know you've reached nirvana. Before I do this number 4, I quickly want to turn the camera around, because while I was talking about rubbish nirvana, I looked down and I had just missed. So I was standing behind this tree here, and I looked down to my left, and there's a tree missing, and an actual hole in the ground there. And had I been walking along looking at the camera, I would have gone straight down that hole. I was a bit tongue-in-cheek with the rubbish collection. Needless to say, another tree here. So what's that, about 30 trees in that street need standing up on this side of the road. That's the main road over there. Not going to go over there. Those buildings over there have lost their roofs. I'm going to go back on the other side of the road over here now because there's more fallen trees and just the hillside. Like, I can notice that the vegetation has left the hillside, and in fact, behind this tree, behind those houses, their roof has gone up the hill. You can see the tin up in the hillside. All right, back to getting rid of anything digital in your life. So this road was knee deep in water the other night, but they seem to have cleared the drain. I've got myself across. So look, anything digital is not really required. You can delete it. This last week has been the really brought that one home to me in that we haven't had any digital. We still don't have internet at the Dragon Castle over there. We got power on at my wife's house about 9 p.m. last night, but not sure if the internet is working over there. I'm running off 4G, but this morning there was no 4G, and we haven't had 4G or 3G for about a week. So if you're relying on anything digital to validate your life, it's probably not required. This last week has been the good example of that. Don't need any Instagram, don't need any Snapchat, can live without YouTube, I hate to say. Don't need any email, don't need any Facebook. The only thing we really found useful was getting public safety updates now and again, and somehow they did come through to the phone, but you could never get enough signal to do anything with it. But we did get some public safety updates, so that's real good. The other reason I think that you can get by with less digital in your life as a retired, semi-retired expat living in Southeast Asia, Vietnam, is that it just doesn't add to your life. My life is here. This is the real life, and all the stuff I'm watching on social media is somebody else's life somewhere else, and probably a little bit remote to what my life's all about. So I like to keep it real, and so it's really not necessary to have excessive social media. The third thing is that when you do have social media, I pair it right back. So I've got a bit of a prioritisation schedule. I prioritise myself first and my own health, physical health, and that's why I'm out here sweating like a one-armed bricklayer in Baghdad. Also mental health, that's why I'm talking to you guys. Keeps me active and gives me things to do. And also then prioritise my immediate family. And by immediate family, I'm talking about my blood relatives and their partners or significant others. After that, we've got the wider family. And if you're not connected to me through blood or marriage or one of those connections, you're not likely to be on my Facebook, and you're not likely to hear from me. There are a couple of very, very close friends that I have on there, and that's mainly because they keep wanting to come back as my friends, so I gave up and let them do that. That's number 4. Don't need anything digital once you're retired. That's going to free up a large part of your life. A few houses here behind me doing a bit of a clean-up. I'm not going to go up the hill here to my right because it's a steep hill, and I want to get home because it's hot out here. Let's get on to number 5, the final thing that you don't need anymore once you've hit a certain age. All right, I'm probably going to go back the exact way I came because the other side of the road's a death trap. This one I've just headed up, other people's business. I don't need to know other people's business as a retired person, semi-retired person. So I keep in my lane, and I keep my lane pretty narrow. So when we're talking about staying in my lane, it's a bit like that prioritisation I mentioned earlier. Immediate family, wider family, close friends. outside of that, I don't have to worry about anybody else's other business. My business is the only business I need to have in my brain, and that just frees up mental capacity and clarity. So that's the last one. There was another thing I wanted to talk to you about with that one. I just can't remember it right now. So I guess we'll have to save that one for a future part. But we are staying in our lane. We're prioritising with close family and friends. And we're just making sure that we're doing what's in front of us. We're not actually focusing on something that's somewhere else, not in front of us and far away. I'm walking through a mud patch that is very slippery. You may get a bonus fall here. Now, finally, before we wrap up, there's a bonus topic. So for those of you that have stayed this far, there is a number 6. And it's something that's called operating in true monk mode. And this true monk mode terminology really means having a deep and intrinsic, if that's the right word, focus on a particular thing. So you really focus on one particular thing away from the distractions of everything else. And so I feel like I'm moving into true monk mode, in that I'm really focusing on the day-to-day, here and now, real life, and I'm removing any extraneous distractions that aren't related to that. That gives me a sense of accomplishment, and it actually is a great way to look at things. So if you think that's something that might be of interest to you, just Google up true monk mode and see if that's something that you could be jumping on the bandwagon with too. All right, I'm going to leave it here. Tree's getting stood up over there with a crane. It's probably good footage for you, but I'm conscious that I've taken enough time out of your day with my clap trap, so I might keep going. Again, subscribe to the channel. That's the only way I know you get access to the latest entertainment. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I am thinning out the varts a little bit because it's not the number one priority to be making YouTubes. I post twice a week. I think that's enough for anybody. Who wants to hear more than that? I aim for Tuesdays and Thursdays, but it could be any other day of the week that I feel like. But essentially that's where we're at. Stay frosty. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you in the next one.